You can count on me like 1, 2, 3, I'll be there. And I know when I need it, I can count on you like 4, 3, 2, and you'll be there.
I've only been a stay-at-home mom for 6 weeks. Prior to when Luke, our son, was born, I was working at a church, Peace Lutheran in Arvada, and I was the director of student ministries there, where I was responsible for middle school through college ministry, and I've been doing that for 4.5 years.
I have 3 children. My oldest son is 19, and I've got a daughter who's almost 18 and another daughter who is 15. And I work as an administrative assistant at a church.
So I have 4 kids, 18, 16, 13, and 7.
My mom had been working for 14 years. Then when I turned 15, she quit her job and she's been a stay-at-home mom ever since, and it's been really nice.
I think just in talking with my husband, I just thought it was best for our family, so I could raise our little baby and any future children. Just being home with them, and I'm a teacher by education, so teaching them as much as I can at home, and just kind of keeping things running here.
Well, we decided that once we had the 3rd one, it just didn't make any sense anymore for me to work. It was just going to be easier because it got so complicated. Like who's picking the kids up today? Who's taking the kids today? And so, yeah, my son was 4.5, my daughter was 3, and then I had a newborn. And then I stayed at home for about 9 years before I went back to work.
After having the 3rd child, daycare expenses were probably around $1,200 to $1,300 a month, and I decided I didn't want to work for a whole month and then have one paycheck go towards daycare when I could just stay home and be with them every day and take them to school and just do activities myself. Usually get up at 5:30, start waking everybody up, cook breakfast, get lunches ready. Usually it's taking 4 kids to school at 3 different times, and then after everybody gets dropped off at 9, then you just run all your errands. I try to get all my errands done in the morning.
So we haven't really had a normal day, but basically get up about 6 o'clock and feed our baby, which is what most of the day is. Feeding him and changing him and kind of keeping him entertained and happy. Trying to do chores when I can, but like I said, it's only been 6 weeks, so we're trying to figure that out. Make dinner, run errands, stuff like that.
Oh, kids probably wanted to get up around, I don't know, 6 o'clock, and it seemed like once one got up, they all got up. Right away, first thing was, making sure they all had something to eat, and then getting dressed and cleaned up, and my goodness, sometimes that took all morning, just those 2 things. Sometimes the kids would just go play in their room, and either that or sit in the living room and take every single book off the bookshelf and read every single book and leave them on the floor. And sometimes that was a good thing because then I had time to cook or clean or whatever, and then their mess was kind of contained in just that living room. Then of course we'd spend time picking that up, and it seemed like right after that then it was time for me to make lunch. So then I'd make lunch. Hopefully, God willing, they all went down for a nap at the same time, which that rarely happened. But when they did, then I would take that time to clean up, straighten up, start dinner. If I got dinner started and they were still taking a nap, I could sit down and just relax, just veg out in front of the TV or whatever. And then they'd be up before you know it. And then it's entertainment time, getting ready for dinner, cooking dinner, sitting down to dinner, doing the dishes again. then it's time for baths, getting ready for bed, and doing it all over again. And some of your days, of course, you want to incorporate fun. So we go to the zoo or go to the park or get together with other friends that had kids the same age. We did that.
We would just wake up, go to school, she'd drop us off, and then when I was younger, we would stay at daycare till like 5:30 or later when she could finally come pick us up. Or our grandma would have to come pick us up sometimes, and then she'd take us to work because my mom was working overtime. And then some Saturdays or Sundays, my mom had to go into work if they were really busy, and she had to get more work done. And so that was really hard sometimes because I felt like I never really got to see her.
I think sometimes you can be, yeah, especially like when you have a baby, because they can't really talk back to you, have a conversation. So you have to kind of make an effort to get out or get together with somebody or something like that. I haven't really been bored yet, but lonely I could definitely see that does happen because you don't have someone to talk to. Well, my husband works nearby, so we're able to go to lunch, so that's helpful. Other stay-at-home moms, I used to work at a church, and so I have a lot of high school students, and so I've gotten together with some of their moms, other friends that have little children as well.
Yeah, I did. I mean, it's fun to be with your kids, but when they'd go down for naps or whatever, yeah, sometimes you got starved for adult conversation, just any kind of adult conversation. No, never. The house with 3 kids is never clean, so there's always something to do. When my youngest was an infant and I had a 3 and a 4-year-old, I mean, it was constant, nonstop. Changing clothes, just keeping them clean. They always want to eat. Picking up was a constant thing. It was just harder to keep the house clean, keep them clean, doing laundry, doing dishes, cooking, vacuuming, dusting, you name it. It was unending. Cleaning the bathrooms, cleaning the kitchen. It just went on and on. I don't remember having time for a hobby. I was busy all the time, especially when they were little. I'm sure I sat down and, caught the news or snuck in a soap opera now and then. One of the things I could think of was probably doing organizing pictures when we used to develop them, getting them in photo albums, stuff like that. Once the kids were in school, all 3 of them were in school full time, then I had more time. Yeah, I did cleaning, but I would sneak in time to have lunch with my friends. That was an important thing, is to have some mom time with my friends.
Because I have one getting ready to go to college, and the sports that they play, hockey, is really expensive. So with everybody being in school full time, it may start to be more feasible for me to go back to work.
We needed the money, basically, but I wanted to find something that was part-time and flexible so that I could be home to go to kids' school programs or doctor's appointments, or if they're sick and things like that. My son was in 7th grade, and then I had a daughter in 6th grade, and then a daughter in 3rd grade. They're more self-sufficient. They didn't need me to pick out their clothes or help them get them dressed or tell them to brush their teeth. They're a lot more independent, and so that made it a whole lot easier.
I don't know. I'm probably not in the same capacity that I was, as long as I have kids, just because it's a really hard job to do if you're the mom. But I think probably part-time. I mean, I have my degrees in education, so maybe teaching, something that is a little more conducive to family lifestyle.
They don't ask what I do as a stay-at-home mom. The most frustrating part is when they ask, and if you have kids, they're not supposed to ask you that. So I feel like I'm not going to lie and say no, but if I answer yes, then they may be looking for somebody who has less home responsibilities so they can dedicate more time to work.
I really miss my coworkers and like that social interaction, and my students that I worked with. I really miss them a lot too, and just realizing that like everything I do at this point revolves around my baby, and so just making sure somebody will like, "What'd you do today?" "Oh, I kept my kid alive," which is a pretty big accomplishment. But that's just a totally different shift. It's very much focused on others. My baby rather than just focused on myself and my priorities, I guess. I used to be gone a lot on nights and weekends, like several nights a week, and so at this point with a 6-week-old, my life has probably gotten less busy than it was when I was working a full-time job, but I know that will change. But at this point, I'm home a lot more, but I feel like I'm able to better take care of my house and my family than I was when I was working.
What really changed is that I no longer had to go to daycare or my grandma's house, and she was gonna pick me up from school instead of somebody else, and she didn't have to go anywhere on Saturdays or Sundays, which was really good. And it just opened up our lives a lot more, and it gave me more time to see her, which was really nice.
Getting used to working again was, I think I had a little less time for me, or I had to, again, schedule everything. Everything's got to be scheduled. Harder to be spontaneous.
I think they are probably doing stuff that they enjoy doing because I'm home to take them to do whatever they need to do. So whether it's a job or activities that they've had or clubs that they want to belong to, they can do that because I'm here to take them and pick them up.
Well, I would hope they would say it was a positive one. I was always there for them. If they needed something, the flexibility was there. I mean, I was the taxi cab for years, with them and their friends coming over to visit, taking their friends home. I'm happy that I was able to be here.
Yeah, I didn't really feel like I could be more open with her, because I figured she was too busy to really hear what I had to talk about and stuff. Like, I would tell her how things were going and stuff, but I wasn't as nearly as open with her as I am now as back then. We've just gotten a lot closer.
So far that I've experienced is just kind of seeing my baby change and grow and develop, and just kind of experiencing life like through a baby's eyes, and it's just totally different than anything else I'd ever done. And so just knowing that at this point, like, I'm the only one that can, since I feed him, I'm the only one that can literally keep him alive. And so that's kind of a big responsibility, but it's really rewarding too.
Probably the hardest part is not contributing any money, so I feel like I don't have a job.
I would say staying at home, yeah, it was really, really hard. Especially on days when the kids were cranky or just misbehaving or didn't feel good. Yeah, there were times when I totally wished that I was the one working and my husband was a stay-at-home dad. I mean, that crossed my mind several times.
You can count on me like 1, 2, 3, I'll be there. And I know when I need it, I can count on you like 4, 3, 2, and you'll be there.